Greetings. Welcome back to Raised Wisdom. Today we're going to be tackling the colon. Colon have specific function in quantum grammar and the mechanics. And I'm going to show you how I use the colon in my sentence structure. It's really straightforward. The colon stands for the positional lodial sets. Now we talked about the lodial, what it means. Lodial means location, originality, contract, which gives you ownership. And your positional words is going to be, you're only going to use about 4 positional word and about 4 lodial word in your contract. Now there's more, but don't be greedy. 4 will work just fine, but pretty much almost every situation. And your positional phrases are for and of and by and with. Those are your positions. And your lodial is the, this, these, those. And let's see how we can construct a sentence using the colon, which substitute for the, of these, by these, with the. And for you to write the sentence backward, all you have to do is flip it. The opposite of the is with the. The opposite of for the is by the. Okay, let's take a look at how we're going to use it. For the claimant's knowledge. Okay, see what I did here? I put the colon. The colon is for the claimant's knowledge is a fact. See, I put position lodial fact, right? Now, you always want to have 2 facts before you have your verb of thinking in a sentence. You always want to have your 2 facts set up. Now, I already have 1 fact there. For this claimant knowledge of the facts, okay, of the is the next colon, which is after the claimant's knowledge, and your next fact is fact, right? For this claimant's knowledge of the fact. Now, you put your verb of thinking. Now, in quantum grammar, in the English language also, there's only 2 verbs. There is only 2 verbs in the English language. They never taught you that in school. Why? I have no idea. Running is not a verb. Eating is not a verb. Swimming is not a verb. There's only 2 verbs, and these 2 verbs are is and are. Is singular, and are is plural. R-A-R-E. And is I-S. Now you put your verb of thinking, just like a math problem, right? You put a fact, and then you put your verb of thinking, plus or minus, and then you put another fact, and then you have your conjunction, and your conjunction is the fact, right? And so you have your position lodial fact set up. For this claimant's knowledge of the facts is with the. Now this colon you put in front after the is stands for with the. This is your possessive. With the what? With now if you have a fact, what are you going to do? You can claim the fact. And if you are a fact, what are you? You are a claimant, right? So we're going to put it like this. For this claimant's knowledge of the facts is with the claim. Claim of what? Claim of the correct sentence structure, communication, Marseille syntax, grammar, cognition. You see this 4th colon serve as the of the. Now, in the beginning of a sentence, the first colon is always going to be either for the or by the. And you can do that at the end of the sentence as well. And everything in between is always going to be of the or with the, of the or with the. Okay? Now, we have this sentence set up as for this claimant's knowledge of the fact is with the claim of the correct sentence structure, communication, Marseille syntax, grammar, language cognition. Now, that means that you have perfect understanding of correct sentence structure. What do you put after that? It's another colon. This colon is another possessive, is with the competency and performance. Now, you're saying that you are not only competent, not only you have perfect understanding of it, and you're competent in it, and you can perform it. So you're making it very clear of what you're conveying in the sentence, so there could be no mistake. And what you do at the end, you put the last colon, which is going to be attached to the last wordings, and this stands for the by the. What that does is it gives you authority of everything that's in the paper. If you put it in the bottom, you get jurisdiction over everything. This is, you have authority over the contract, every word that's in the contract. So if somebody have a question, a query, they can come to you, the authority of that document, to ask you for closure. Now, a lot of contracts out there, they don't even have an autograph at the end. Usually they have like some kind of signature or computer generated print or something like that. That's a no contract contract. That's a unilateral contract. If you are the only one that signed the contract. To be in compliance with contract laws, there must be two people autographed in a contract. Now, notice I didn't say sign, because sign is the language of the dead. That's why you autograph your contract. You never really want to sign anything. Nothing. Because signing is the language of the dead. Cursive is curse. That's why they took it out of school. Duh. But everybody going around doing cursive, they wonderful signatures expressing how dead they are. And you can learn quantum grammar. It's going to take some time. You want to be patient with it. And I guarantee you, once you grasp it, it will be smooth sailing for you. Now, we could write the sentence backward. It still will mean the same thing. We could say, for this claimant, of the competency and performance is with the correct sentence structure, communication, per se, syntax, grammar, cognition of the claim with the facts by this claimant. It says the same thing. Write it frontward and backward. It says the same thing. Like I said, try to do that with any other document. You won't be able to do that. And this is what syntax is all about. Now, I have my positional loader, which is a 5 and a 6, and I have my facts, which is a 7. Your conjunction is N and R. A and D, which is a command, and OR, which is either, is an option. And there's only 2 conjunction also in the English language and quantum grammar, and there's only 2 verb in the English language and in quantum grammar, and you only allowed 1 verb in a sentence. If you have more than 2 verb, well, you have a nice fiction sentence there. It doesn't say anything. And if somebody's trying to contract with you in a fiction sentence, now, and you take the document, you perform syntax of it, and you ask them to stop and correct with your syntax papers and your syntax keys and your method. And if they insist that you contract with them and fiction, if they're trying to enforce their fiction contract, now you have the ability to punish them by billing them for fictitious conveyance of language and fraudulent per se syntax grammar and mail fraud. And there's a mechanics how you could enforce your contract. That's where the maritime law kicks in. Once you learn these mechanics, you'll be able to do the same thing they've been doing to you, because they're using a power that is available to everybody, but everybody's so ignorant of it. They don't know it. They don't know how to use it. They don't even know it exists, right? Even in the Bible, it says people should perish because of their lack of knowledge. But once you have knowledge of the facts, you can perform, you can navigate without getting screwed over, right? Now, I know who I am. You may or may not know who you are. And if you want to contract with me, or if somebody want to contract with you and they're not conscious and you are, well, they better be conscious. If they're conscious, they won't try to contract with you in fiction language. They'll know how to perform correct sense and structure their goddamn self. Now, the key word here is God. I know who I am. You may or may not know who you are. If you consent to a fiction title, if you say you are that fiction, or you are that birth certificate, that all capital name, that nom de guerre, which means dead person, then you may not know who you are. You may not have any idea who you are. And that's where the damn part comes in. I know it's a riddle. And what causes that is something that's called suspended disbelief. But except in human beings nowadays, this condition is permanent. And suspended disbelief simply means that you taking a fiction to be fact temporarily. But in today's world nowadays, people are permanently in this state of condition. And there's a movie that expresses that very well. It's called George Orwell, 1984. And I'm going to play a little clip of it so you can see what I'm trying to express and convey here.
I just want to finish by saying a few words about the impact of this imminent neurological breakthrough. When the orgasm has been finally eradicated, the last remaining obstacle to the psychological acceptance of the principles of INGSOC, as applied to ARTSEM, will be overcome. In other words, the unorthodox tendencies towards own life, which constantly threaten the natural erosion of the family unit, will no longer have the biological support of the organism. As we all know, the biological and social stimulation of the family leads to private reflection outside party needs, and to the establishment of unorthodox loyalties, which can only lead to thought crime. But the introduction of ARTSEM, combined with the neutralization of the orgasm, will effectively render obsolete the family until it becomes impossible to conceptualize. Thank you.
Now, you can see how everybody just clapped to this as if they have perfect understanding of what he just said, when nobody had first-hand knowledge of anything he just said. They just consented to that fiction idea, way of thinking, way of being in the world, just like a herd. And the guy that was speaking, he's like the shepherd's keeper. And this doesn't only happen in America. This happened pretty much everywhere. And the word America, by the way, means no mercy for the sheep. Now, if you want to learn quantum grammar, there's links below where we can help you with that. We can help you with the per se syntax and correct sense and structure. And this channel is a peaceful and neutral vessel. And my function is to convey, is to broadcast consciousness and correct sense and structure. And this channel, Raise Wisdom, will be here to help you learn this technology if you want it.
Like and subscribe and hit that bell button.